Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is me, your girl RenaeThaDiva, and this is Let's Talk About It, where I come live and I go over things that help us as entrepreneurs try to get further along in life. So let's talk about it, shall we? Let's shall. So let me go ahead and get in the way the announcement of our sponsors. Of course, we are a part of Yizer Media, and we encourage you always to go out to code 1035.com. So that's code 1035.com to check out not only this show, if you do not get to watch it live, but also the whole lineup there at the Yizer Media Studios. If you would like to participate in our fundraisers, we always encourage that as well. You can go to Shop Yizer, that is YIZZOR.com, and you can participate in a number of different fundraisers we have going on, including some new products we have called poop powder. So I want you to make sure you go out to code 1035, check that out as well, or the shopyizer.com website. So I am just excited to be back. I know I missed you guys last week. I hope you missed me too. I missed you guys. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hopefully you had an amazing love day for those of you who are in love. If not, I hope you loved on yourself tremendously because you know what? You deserve it. There you go. I said it and I mean it. I love you. Anyway, so tonight's show, we will actually talk about your office setup. So I've been again encouraging people that are entrepreneurs to tune in, like, share, follow, whichever you choose to do. Share this with someone who may also be thinking about starting a business, or someone who has already started a business or recently done so, or if you yourself are starting a business. This is for you. The reason why this is for you is because office setup is key to your productivity. What do I mean by that? Me personally, I can say that if I am sitting with my laptop in front of my television, I'm not going to be as productive as I would be here in my office. It's just reality. I guess all the years of multitasking for me has me in the squirrel kind of mentality. Like, squirrel, squirrel. I get distracted really easily. So it's hard for me to sit in front of the TV and actually be productive and work. I need to be in my office environment. You also need to make sure that you have a comfortable setting. What do I mean by that? So, a little story time, okay? There was a time when I actually worked for a corporation, but I was working at home or here in my home office. And people have the misconception that if you are working from home, you're not really working. That's not true, because guess what? You need to be productive even if you are working from home. Those of you who have been remote working, especially throughout the COVID or the pandemic, we had now 5 years. It's been that long. Wow. But those of you who had to work from home at that point definitely got a reality check, in a different kind of work environment kind of thing going on. Of course, there have been people that work from home, since working was invented. But for a lot of us, it became different because we had not been used to that environment. We were used to going into a facility, mostly, again, corporate America, or an actual place where we actually had to go into every day to work. So we actually had to, again, come in home and work in a different kind of environment. I had a lot of people during that time period say that it was hard for them to work from home because maybe their internet wasn't fast enough, or maybe they didn't have all of the equipment they needed to work from home at that time. So it's, again, important to make sure that no matter if you are destined to be remote, or you're what they call the hybrid schedule, where you actually work from home a few days and then you actually go into the office a few days, it's important to make sure that you have the proper setup. Again, me personally, I have been in typing or data entry for a long, long time. So I have carpal tunnel, I have golfer's elbow, all those fun things, elements that have really kind of made my work environment very important to be functional and ergonomic. as they call it. So we're going to talk about, again, equipment. We're going to talk about some other office needs, some things to help you get set up for your home office. So at this point, if you are looking to get a home office, maybe you have already started your business or you're about to start your business and you're maybe forecasting your budget, trying to figure out what exactly you will need to spend money on to get your office up and running at home. So let's just go over a few of those things. Why don't we? Let's share. So I am going to go over again some office equipment needs. So this also depends on your industry. The reason why I say that is because I know for me, for the systems I have to use, I have certain system requirements for my computer. So there are definitely some things that I have to be cognizant on when shopping for a new laptop or computer, because I need to make sure that they are powerful enough or strong enough to be able to support the applications that I use for my business. Some things, and these are some basic things, so you can get a pen and piece of paper out, and we'll kind of go over these together, right? So some of the basic home office things for your desk are, of course, pens, pencils, and erasers. If you are in numbers, especially, or in a field where you have to actually compute. I know a lot of it is done online now or through a software, but there are still some of us that are a little bit old school where we actually like to write things down. So for that, if you're in, again, something to deal with numbers, and you may be creating several rough drafts, I always advise you to have pencils and erasers. You can also do lined paper. You can do graph paper, again, depending on your industry or what you're doing. You want to also make sure you have highlighters or markers. I always equate that to feeling like, I'm still like in elementary school and I have my old highlighters, I have my markers, or like, my early college days where I was actually going through and kind of like highlighting in the textbook, different little things, but it becomes important. Some people are very visual. Some of your customers may, again, be visual, and they may need to see something highlighted to know that that's something they really need to pay attention to. So highlighters and markers are very important. Then, of course, there's scissors. You need scissors. Get a good pair of scissors. The reason why is because, especially if you're doing a lot of cutting or grafting or designing, you may need to cut or shear paper and bulk paper at a time. So you want to make sure you have a good pair of scissors. Paper clips and binders. I tell you, those things disappear like crazy. So you want to make sure you do have paper clips and binders. It actually helps with keeping everything organized. It also helps with keeping documents together, and also a matter of privacy, because again, privacy is very important, especially depending on your industry. If you have things that you keep that are customer based, or their HIPAA, or their personal information, anything that can be taken and used to their detriment, you want to make sure you keep secure. For that reason, your home office or your office needs to also have a secure area. What I mean by secure area, let me tell you. Secure area means somewhere that not everyone has access to, for one. For two, it means that there are probably at least one locations inside of that secure area that has a lock and key, meaning that if you need to lock that area, no one has access to it unless they actually have a key. This is, of course, even in your home office, a place where you want to keep your customer data. Again, it's a matter of security. Unfortunately, people break into houses even. So again, with your home office, you need to make sure your information is secure. Another one is thumbtacks. I know a lot of people do the little organization boards, or like whiteboards, or I call them the porcupine boards, but the boards where they're like corkscrew, cork material, where you actually can put daily sayings up, you can put graphs up, you can put images up. If you have a project that you're working on, they are very efficient in helping with keeping you organized and giving you a visual of that project. So it's good to have thumbtacks in the cork board or whiteboard. If you're just joining me, thank you for joining. This is RenaeThaDiva. This is Let's Talk About It. And we are talking about entrepreneurship as a series. And we are also here at Geyser, definitely for the forward thinking entrepreneur. That's why we are here. We are here to help you, help you succeed. So tonight's episode, I am talking about office setup and needs to be an effective entrepreneur. I hope you definitely get something out of this that will help you if you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, if you are already an entrepreneur, or if you are in the process of setting up your office. Hi to everyone that's joining me in all of the platforms. If you are just watching this or you will be watching this on a replay on our Geyser Media, please do so at code1035.com. So you can not only see this show, but you can see our whole lineup. You can also shop Geyser at shopyizzor, yizzor.com. And if you are interested in our fundraisers, you can also go out there and take a look. So I say thank you again for joining me. So tonight, again, I am talking about setting up your home office and the things you need to have in your office to be a successful entrepreneur. So I've kind of started talking about, some of the home office needs. Again, making sure that you have a secure area inside of your home, even if it's a home office, or inside of your office where you actually can keep customer data secure. Again, it needs to be either a locked file cabinet, a door that locks that only you or pertinent employees have access to, because again, you don't want anyone's information to get out. Right? Because again, people are so happy. You don't want to get sued, especially depending on your industry. And then it's just a matter of human decency, I think. I have been a victim of identity theft when I lived in a different state and actually had someone steal one of my children's information trying to use it for insurance. So that's a whole nother realm there. But they had to have gotten the information from my trash can. So that was me learning that I need to shred any impertinent information or information that I don't want to get out to the public because people can definitely maneuver to commit fraud. So let's go back to the list, shall we? So again, home office desk supplies. You need pens, pencils, erasers, highlighters, markers, scissors, paper clips, binders, thumbtacks, staples, and staplers. It's good to have a good stapler. The reason why I say that is because, again, all my years in corporate America, having to bang on the stapler trying to get it through a thicker stack of papers, you don't want to do that. So make sure you have an industrial stapler if you have to use stapling effects for big projects. Again, this is for your home office. A lot of the corporate offices will have your big copiers or printers that actually have a stapling feature in it, which is awesome. If you have that in your home office, hey, I'm proud of you. Go for it. Awesome stuff. So tape. A lot of times tape is is the thing that goes missing that is used a lot. The reason why I say tape is because, you may be, again, depending on your industry, you may be putting together a project and you may need a visual where you actually may need to tape some papers together. So tape is very important for that kind of a thing. And glue sticks. If you're anything like me, and I don't want to be gross, I just don't want to be gross, but hey, I do not lick envelopes. I just don't. I've seen too many documentaries, too many horror stories of, the factories and the stuff that goes into the glue that goes on the envelope. So you will never catch me licking an envelope. But, hey, to each his own. I'm not knocking you if you decide to do so. You go right ahead. Another reason why tape may also be important, too, because you can tape the envelope. So we have glue sticks, we have tape, rubber bands. So, okay, rubber bands have a multiple focus for me. Just again, the number of years I spent in corporate America or working in an office type of environment or pretty much most of my adult life. I am a serial entrepreneur, whereas I've usually always worked more than one job. Some of my friends and family members call me A hard worker. That's the word I'll use for this show. But they do call me a hard worker, and I accept that because I try to be and I am. But the rubber bands have multiple focus, multiple purposes in your office needs. You can use the rubber bands, of course, to um, put together multiple pieces of paper and keeps them bound where they're not like just like flying around, especially like if you're traveling, if you have to take the paperwork with you, different places or different locations. It also can help you relieve stress. And what I mean by that is, say, for instance, if you're working in a call center or in a job where you have a lot of stress kind of coming into the office, you can create a rubber band ball. I know it sounds juvenile, but it actually works and it helps relieve stress. Us as adults have a multiple of different things kind of going on. We get like adult shutdown after a certain time of the day. Again, depending on your environment of your work, it can be fairly stressful. So this can actually help you not to go off or be belligerent, or maybe even take it out on the person that's on the other line. So rubber band balls work wonders. But a pencil sharpener is also needed. My only suggestion is if you work in an environment where you actually even working from home and you are on the phone a lot, don't use a pencil sharpener while you're on the phone, because you may be dealing with a person that, say, for instance, may be hard of hearing. So they will be distracted or may be annoyed or may even be triggered by the pencil sharpener. So just try not to use it while you're on the phone, just to become common and courteous to other people, right? Now, this is one of my big ones, a desktop and desk drawer organizer. I like both. Inside of my desk drawers, right now, you don't want to go in one of them because one of them I just kind of throw stuff in when I come live. Just because, again, I may have things I'm working on my desk right before I come live. So I try to put those away just like in one of my drawers. But I do have inside of my desk organizers. So stuff's not just rolling around, especially like your pens and your pencils, even your erasers or your whiteout autocorrectors. Anything round definitely can roll in your desk. That can be pens, tacks. You don't want to put your hand in your desk drawer and guess what? You get one of those tacks, it's not going to feel good. So desk organizers are very important, as well as desktop organizers. It's good to have things accessible. So you want to make things accessible. You also want to make it where ergonomically you're making yourself or forcing yourself to get up sometimes or periodically. Usually they say every hour you're supposed to get up from your desk if you're in a sitting position, to get the blood circulating. So those kind of things always help. But you still, again, want to make it functional, whereas you can reach and grab if you need to grab something in the hurry, like a pen or a pencil or a piece of paper or a notepad. Those things you want to make sure that are on your desk or desk organizer to be able to use and access pretty quickly. So let's go to office printer supplies and paper. Having an office printer is very important. Even if you're working out of a home office, usually the 3-in-1 features work really well, like the scanners, printer, fax, all in ones. Again, you make it where it's affordable to you. You don't have to have the most popular name brand, but I do recommend that you look at the reviews of products, especially electronics, before you decide to purchase them. Again, it's also based upon your industry, whatever type of business you have or what you're doing from home or in your home office. It definitely plays a part in what type of equipment you have or you purchase. For myself, I did not purchase a floor model printer, scanner, fax, but I did purchase a mid-size one, whereas I can scan up to 100 pages at a time. Like if I'm doing my notary business, I can also scan one page and it goes right to my computer. I can then email it. I can fax it from my computer. I can fax from my machine. I can also print in black and white. I can print in color. And I also can print letter size or legal size. Again, because I am a notary public, I need those features in my machine. So again, it's important to make it functional for you. Another thing you want to consider with the home office printer setup is paper. People are like, well, I'm just going to get the cheapest kind of paper because, hey, it's on sale. I am not knocking being budget conscious, because trust me and believe I am, especially when it comes to supplies that are tangible like paper. But I am also cognizant because I want to make sure that I have the most use of my machine. So they do have recommendations for paper for your machines that, I definitely suggest you use depending on which type of machine you get. So say, for instance, if you have a laser printer, or if you have a color laser printer, or inkjet, or other different kinds, they again have recommendations when you buy your machine on what type of paper you should use. So I definitely advise you to use those type of papers. They are known to help with the longevity of your machine and also your ink supply. Depending on what type of machine you have, again, ink supply can go pretty quickly. I usually always do the extended drums because I know that I will print quite a bit of paper sometimes, depending on, again, which project I'm working on. If I'm doing a notary public, it can be anywhere from 100 to 200 pages at a time that I'm printing, depending on what type of signing that I have to do. So those are things to consider. With that, also, you want to consider or think about re-upping or resupplying. So a lot of times the printers now will come with notifications where they will actually send you a notification on your computer or whatever device you have your printer hooked to, saying, hey, your supply is getting low. Do you want us to go ahead and order that? You can sign up for services to actually have them automatically send you your ink when your supply gets low. I don't do that just because I've just had some bad experiences with it. That's just me. You can do what you choose to do, whatever feels comfortable for you. So I definitely suggest that you consider that when you are looking into your machines as well. They also have what they call tankless machines, meaning that they don't have the old toner rolls that you use anymore. They have like actual like little reservoirs where you actually can put in the liquid ink, and it's supposed to last a lot longer. I have personally not used that type of machine. Just to me, it did not seem cost efficient, but again, you do what's best for you and your budget in your business. Envelopes, envelopes, envelopes. So I am a bit old school in the fact that I like to handwrite my envelopes. Yes, there are the Avery labels you can use. You can print out mass labels at one time. To me, it's easier and less time consuming to just actually handwrite the name and address on the envelope versus having to go through the printer and do all that you do. That again is depending on my industry or the industry that you're in. Whereas I'm not doing a mass mailing to the same address, I am doing each individual envelope to different addresses, different persons, again, depending on the industry. So that's my insurance business where I actually would handwrite notes. So, envelopes are very important. What I'll say to that also is this, because envelopes, anybody can make a mistake, especially like if you get to handwriting too fast. So you want to make sure you have over the quantity of envelopes that you may need. So say, for instance, if I'm doing a mailing of birthday cards for the month to my insurance customers, and I have 100 cards, I usually get 150 envelopes. The reason why is because, again, anything can happen. You can misspell someone's name while you're writing it, or even typing it on an envelope. You can misspell their name, you can misspell their address, you can dispose the numbers, anything can happen. So you want to make sure that you have more envelopes than actually needed, because again, any of those things can happen. File folders. I'm a bit of a OCD organizer, I guess I could say. Whereas I like to have things in proper position, and I like it for it to be uniform again in my insurance industry is just a little bit important to me because of the fact that, again, I have people's information that I'm keeping. It also plays a factor in the fact that, say, for instance, if someone has a claim and they say that they have a coverage, but they actually don't, I like to try to keep their waivers in the insurance industry in a certain place so I can go back and easily say, hey, no, you signed this waiver on this date. You waived this coverage. So guess what? The claim is yours. Again, I don't want to talk negatively about insurance. Those kind of things do happen, believe it or not. But I like to look at the positive of insurance because insurance is a necessary item. It is a necessity that we all have to have, whether it's in our personal homes or autos, whether it's in our businesses, whether it's even our health insurance or our life insurance. We all have to deal with insurance in some type of way, shape, and form. So folders are very important to me because, again, they help me stay organized, where I actually have it set up where in my office it's organized a certain way. Whereas these type of documents are on this side, these type of documents are on this side, this type of documents are in the back. So again, there's no misconception or no way that it can be misplaced because, again, there's a certain order that they go in when they go into the files, and then they go into the folder. So just FYI, folders are very important. You can do folders with pockets. You can do folders with the hole sticks where you actually can punch holes in them, like 2 ring holes. You can punch 3 if you want to put it long ways. You can do it a number of different ways. So again, those are very important. I advise you to be cognizant of the type of folders you are going to get. Okay, so hopefully I'm not going too fast. Hopefully you are getting something out of this information. I am RenaeThaDiva. Tonight's show, of course, is focused on entrepreneurship and your home office needs. So we've gone over a few different things. We talked about some of the office supplies you need so far. We are now on the office printer supplies and paper. So I'm just about finished with this segment, but before I go any further, let me go ahead and give a shout out to everyone that is joining. Thank you to my Yizer Media family. If you are joining us on code 1035, thank you. If you're joining us on other platforms, thank you again. Make sure you do go out to, however, code 1035.com to take a look at not only this show on repeat, if you want to watch it on repeat, or the next day or whenever. But you also can view the full lineup of the Yizer Media staff, and we have a dynamic group of people there. So hi to everybody there at Yizer Media, Mr. Dwayne Abernathy, our founder and CEO. We actually had a meeting last night, and it was very productive. He got to meet some other talent. So definitely looking forward to seeing how that kind of goes forward. Again, Yizer Media is for the forward-thinking entrepreneur. We come with news and facts and topics and things you can use as being an entrepreneur. So thank you for joining. If you're just joining, so hi, KB. And I haven't forgotten about you. I promise I will get back with you, KB. So tonight's show is about entrepreneurship and your home office and your home office setup. So I've kind of gone over some things and I will continue. So notebooks are very good. The reason why notebooks are good to have in your home office is because if you are like some people, and I have been guilty of this, stickies were my best friend. I had a whole ton of stickies like all over the place. But guess what? That sticky adhesive can wear thin, it can come off. And then you don't want to just have everything taped all up in public, especially like if it's like your usernames and passwords, things of that nature. So I advise you to get a little notebook or a larger notebook, medium-sized notebook, whatever was comfortable for you, so that you actually can write things down in a notebook. You can carry it with you. But again, I advise you not to put any pertinent data information in there because, again, if it gets lost or stolen, you want to make sure that you don't lose your information. Calendars are also important. Some people are old school, the fact that they do like, and I hate to say old school because, I'm still 25 in my head. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Y'all didn't hear that. But calendars are actually very important. A lot of people use their smartphones now for their calendars and reminders and features, but some people still like to use a physical calendar. And I'm okay with that. If you use a calendar that is a physical calendar. It still can help you stay on track. It can help you keep abreast of your appointments. You can, again, use pen or pencil inside your calendars or notebooks. And it makes it really easy because of the fact that, if you use a pencil, you can erase it or alter or change if you need to update information fairly easily. So let's go into our home office technology and devices. Before I do that, I will go into, again, a quick little commercial break, and I will show you guys this real quick. This is um, just an example of our fundraiser that we do at Yizer Media. And I will pull this up here for you. For those of you who are listening and not viewing the podcast tonight, I say hi again also. I am showing them the Yizer Veterans Against Military Sexual Assault fundraiser. This does help our veterans, who have been a victim of military sexual assault. This is a fundraiser that I am also very passionate about as being a military mom. Thank whomever you serve that, my child did not go through this type of offense when he was in the military, but, there are so many people that do. So we definitely want to be aware. So you can purchase a Legacy Honor Brick for $308.33 to do your part to support victims of military sexual assault. To do so, we advise you to go to Shop Yizer, the shop YIZZOR.com, or you can call our Yizer office, and one of our lovely staff members will be able to help you at 847-232-9368 and press option number 4. So we say thank you for that. Again, that was my quick little commercial for Yizer and our fundraisers. So I say thank you to that. For those of you who are listening, thank you for tuning in. This is RenaeThaDiva, and this Let's Talk About It. I am a part of Yizer Media, and we are a forward moving organization that definitely wants to help and attract the entrepreneurs of today. No matter if you are a beginning entrepreneur, if you're a serial entrepreneur, or if you are a veteran in the game, we definitely hope that we have something that helps you along with your entrepreneur trade. Okay, so let's get back to it. This is Let's Talk About It, and I come live each week, usually every week, and talk to each and every one of you about things that help entrepreneurs. So thank you again for joining. If you're just doing so, I am RenaeThaDiva. Thank you again. So we are now on office technology and devices. So with that being said, your home office or your remote office or your main office needs to have the proper equipment for you to operate. I kind of mentioned it in the beginning of today's show, but I want you to understand that you need to make sure that you have the proper equipment to perform whatever your job or your business is. Say, for instance, you are a stockbroker. I'll just use as an example. I'm not going to recommend that you get the very basic computer or laptop to operate, because those kind of systems that are refreshing every few seconds definitely need a higher RAM or a higher memory space or a higher processing rate, a better processor, because you need to be able to accommodate the software that you're going to use. On the other hand, if you don't necessarily use your home computer or your laptop in your home business for a business that is high functioning like that, you can get a basic computer, but the thing of it is that you're probably going to make sure you get something that you can upgrade if you do choose to do a basic computer. Again, for my insurance business, I have to have a system that processes and functions fairly quickly, because again, I may have 3 screens going, as I do multiple times. I usually have 2 or 3 screens going. I have at least 5 applications going at a time, things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you have the proper software or laptop and or computer that can function for your business. Smartphones are just here. I can think back to having, I'm telling my age now probably, but I had one of the first iPhones. And I was crazy enough to work two jobs at that time. I was in college or just coming out of college or going into college, one or two. But I was working two or three jobs. So I saved up and I got an iPhone when they first came out. And I remember the excitement I had for having this model of smartphone and looking at it then compared to everything it does now. You really have a handheld computer in your hand with a smartphone. That's what they were designed to do. So you want to be cognizant of your smartphone and also look at your plans. So I recently just switched carriers because I had so many problems. I won't even be on the Bitter Betty community right now, but I had so many problems with my billing being different from what I was told every month. For one, I had very much lapses or uh, buffering with my streaming for my internet. And then I had other pieces of equipment that were promised to be able to work with my equipment, not work with my equipment all of a sudden. Go figure. So smartphones plans are very important. What I mean by that is this: make sure in your plan, if you have your smartphone, that you also have the ability to use it as a hotspot. The reason why I say that is because, yes, you can buy a physical hotspot for your home office or your equipment, but if you have a power outage or things of that nature, you want to be able to still function in your business and use your internet and what have you. So you may need to use a hotspot. That is basically you're using your smartphone as a hotspot or your Wi-Fi, your router. That's what it becomes when you are connecting to it as a hotspot. So that's also very important. Internet access again is important in my home office because I do function as a business out of my home. I do have business internet service. Again, I was explaining to you just a few moments ago. I've had so many problems with the current carrier. But I have decided to go another route. I've decided to go with more of a fiber provider here in my home office, just because it's going to be better for all the equipment that I have in my home office that I kind of operate towards versus paying upwards $300 to $500 a month in internet services to get the higher tiers of service. So that was my personal choice, but I had to investigate that as an entrepreneur or a business owner and try to find the best way to make sure that I could function in my home office and that I wouldn't have all these outages that I've been experiencing and be without my service. Not only is home internet access important or internet access important for your business or your home office, you also want to make sure that, again, you have some type of external drive or backup system. So, again, on my smartphone, I know I have iCloud that everything backs up to. On my laptop, which is I use a laptop versus a desktop computer right now. And it was just easier for me because, again, with my laptop, I can plug it up here at home when I'm working in my home office, but I also can take it with me. So then my office becomes a mobile office, which is important for my businesses. Again, I'm an insurance agent. I'm also a notary public. In the event that I need to pull up any documents at any time, if I'm out and about, that's why I carry my laptop with me, because of the fact that I can access them on my laptop. We talked about, again, the smartphone being able to be used as a hotspot in the event that I can't connect to Wi-Fi somewhere that I am. There are sometimes places that I go to that are considered a rural location. So I need to make sure that I still can get internet access, and it may not be easily accessible even from my laptop all the time. So with having my smartphone with me as well, being able to use that hotspot, it kind of corresponds with each other, correlates with each other. So again, entrepreneurial tricks, tips. Hopefully these are helping you guys. Make sure you are saving this. Make sure you go back and watch this. If you are looking to start your business, or if you already started your business, but you're looking to maybe develop a home office. And again, these all are things that kind of play a part depending on, again, the industry that you're in. So we talked about flash drives or a backup plan. So you can also purchase what they call external hard drives. That basically, you can take everything that you have in your laptop or your desktop computer and you can put it onto this, what they call hard drive, and that will be a backup. The only thing is that sometimes those things don't back up as frequent unless you are physically backing them up every time you are signing into your laptop or your computer. So you physically or usually manually have to back it up to that external drive. That can be a little bit time consuming, but again, I understand why people do it. Also, you want to make sure that you have surge protectors in place. Especially here in Indiana, we are prone to have storms. It may be thunderstorm and hailing one day. It may be snowing and ice the next day. It may be 80 degrees the day after that. But our weather is so inclement or so diverse and changing that, you know, you want to make sure that your equipment is protected in the event that you have a power outage or you have a storm come through that can attack or erase your equipment. This one is a little bit old school. I had to say again, old school, because I'm not old. Neither are you. We're still 25 in our head. But a label maker. A lot of times, label makers with the label tape, of course, are necessities. Especially like if you actually keep a file cabinet or a file folder, label makers can be really, really important to have. So I encourage you to have the label makers as well in the label tape. Just in case you are just joining, this is RenaeThaDiva. This is Let's Talk About It. And we are on Yizer Media. Yizer Media is focused on the forward-thinking entrepreneur. So we are talking tonight about home office setup and office necessities, office needs. So if you're just joining us, thank you again for joining. I can actually send you over the office equipment needs supply list if you'd like for me to do so. Please just get in contact with us at marketing@YizerTV.com, and I'll be more than happy to send that out to you. Just let us know how we're doing too. Let us know if you are enjoying this show. Let us know if you enjoy the lineup we have on code1035.com. If you are also looking to sponsor any of the Yizer Media shows, or you're looking to participate in any of our fundraisers, you can send that information there as well. Again, this is RenaeThaDiva. So just let them know that you know. RenaeThaDiva said, say hi. There you go. All right, so let's talk about office furniture and accessories. So hopefully, again, you've enjoyed this. Hopefully this has helped you, maybe brought to mind some things that you may not have necessarily thought of. I kind of talked about before in previous shows, and we'll go into more detail in the upcoming weeks on actual office location, if you are going to a physical location outside of your office, and some things to kind of look for in that, especially if you are doing commercial leasing or commercial purchase, even, because you can purchase the office building as well. So office is the home office setup. The desk is very, very, very important. Again, in COVID, some people had to use their kitchen table as a desk. Some people had to use maybe their kids' desk for their desk to work from home. But desks are very important. The reason why desks are very important is because, for one, a lot of times we are sitting at these desks 8 to 9, 10 hours a day, depending on, again, your industry or what have you. You also want to make sure it's functional. So there are a lot of people getting into the stand desk as well, where you actually can use it sitting down in a chair, or you can raise it up and you can stand and work and be functional. So you want to make sure you have enough space for that desk. No matter what equipment you're going to have on your desk or your desktop, make sure that you have enough room for it. So if it means you need to measure to make sure that the desk will even fit into your home office space, please do so. Because what you don't want to do is get a desk, purchase it, spend money for it, or lease it, or what have you, and it will not fit into the space that you have in your home office. So that is very important. Then you also want to make sure that it is functional for you as far as ergonomics. As I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, I have golfer's elbow, I have tennis elbow, I have carpal tunnel, you name it, I have it, as far as all the years of data entry I've done. And typing and them saying, okay, we need to do surgery. And I'm like, you're not cutting on me anymore, not happening. But anyway, I do use, and I'll show you this for those of you who are watching, I do use an ergonomic keyboard. This was actually a gift from my, um, I call him my brother friend, and his wife for Christmas one year because they know that I, work from home a lot. And they're like, Renee, here, take this. This is something you use. So they gave me an ergonomic keyboard. It has the rest for my wrist. It's also angled in the way that I can type a lot easier. So that works for me. So I advise you to make sure that you have the proper keyboard, QWERTY keyboard, of course, that helps you. Also, the mouse pad. So the mouse or the mouse pad, whichever one you choose to call, some of them have their own mouse pads. I use a wired mouse when I'm at my home office. I use a wireless one when I'm out and about. But this is also ergonomic, so it helps with my placement of my hands. So it's not as encumbering on me when I'm typing or when I'm moving my mouse or using my laptop. The desk chair is also very important. Again, because we are usually sitting in these things. Hopefully you are getting up every hour, but in the case that you are not getting up every hour, start doing so. But if you work from home or in your home office, even if you are in a commercial location, get up every hour, get the blood circulating, step away from the desk, step away from the computer, just rest your eyes for just a second, go get water, go get soda, whichever, coffee, whatever, tea, whatever you drink. Get away from your desk at least once every hour, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Get away from your desk. Very much entrepreneurs, because we can get burnt out really, really quickly. If you're like me, that's easier said than done, I know, because especially if I'm engulfed in a project or if I'm doing something, I'm always that kind of person. I'm like, oh, a few more minutes, I'll be finished. And a few more minutes turns into 5 more hours. So make sure you're getting up from your desk. But the chair is very important in that desk setting. The chair is very important because, again, if you're someone that suffers from poor circulation, or if you are someone that suffers from back or spine problems, or if you have poor leg circulation even, you want to make sure that you have a good chair that has the support in it or it has a cushion in it. Now, you may see, if you're visually watching this show, you may see that behind me there is a fold-up chair. That is simply for the few times that I do have guests come to my home office, they have some place to sit. Granted, now right outside of my office here at home, I do have a whole sitting area with actual leather furniture, but that's more of a relaxed environment. I don't have too many people come to my home office, but in the event that they do, again, you want to make sure you have a place for them to sit. So not only is your desk chair important, also the customer seating is important as well. Then you want to make sure that it is well lit. So what I mean by that is this. Again, because we are looking at computer screens, usually 8 to 10, 12 hours a day, depending on, again, your industry and whatever you do, you want to make sure that the lighting is not going to be encumbering on your eyesight. You want to make sure that it's not going to make your eyes more tired. And I know I am a glasses wearer. I wear prescription glasses. So I make sure I do the anti-reflective, anti-glare, all that kind of thing that helps with the lighting. But you also want to make sure that you have a lamp or a light that is close to your computer in the event that you do need to turn on and get more light. If you're working late at night, or if you're working again, here in Indiana, it gets dark sometimes, depending on the time of year, at 4 o'clock. There are some places in the world that, stay in darkness just about 24 hours a day. So, lighting is very important. If you're just joining in, thank you again for joining. This is RenaeThaDiva, and this is Let's Talk About It. I have tonight been talking about your home office needs and necessities for your home office and making sure that you have a properly functioning home office. So I hope that you will, if you did not catch it from the very beginning, go back to code 1035 and rewatch this broadcast and check out our whole lineup of shows there. and then also that you will join next week. But before I finish out, I want to also talk about with your home office, making sure that again, this is something that functions for you. So, say for instance, you're like myself. I run more than one business out of my home. I'm an insurance agent or insurance broker actually now, and I am also a notary republic. Being an insurance agent, it is imperative that I have properly working equipment. I need to make sure that I can actually be able to scan, email, and or fax at a drop of a dime. I also may need to print documentation. Say, for instance, if I have to go meet a customer and have them sign some of the documentation for their insurance policies at any given time, especially like in their life insurance. So in their life insurance, of course, that becomes a whole different thing. Whereas there's a lot of documents for them signed either online or physically, where they are actually getting a policy. So those kind of things are very important in why I choose the equipment that I have. So I have a laptop. Again, I'm just kind of recapping, but I have a laptop for my home office. And then in my laptop, I can take that with me when I go out to a customer's house, if I'm meeting them at Starbucks even, or if I'm meeting them at different locations, to be able to do a presentation. So I have a two-in-one type of laptop where I actually can use it as a tablet or just as a laptop. So I can do presentations where I'm actually turning the tablet portion on and I can show videos to the customers, things of that nature right there with my laptop. So that was the reason why I chose my piece of equipment. You need to make sure again that your equipment is going to be well enough for you to be able to function. So it needs to be fast enough, has a fast enough processor, depending on again the equipment that you have open. A lot of the equipment today are smart equipment type features, meaning that a lot of them have the Apple Intelligence or intelligence features, AI features. So that does take a little bit of a faster processor. My smartphone also helps accompany me because, again, if I ever am in a location where I cannot access Wi-Fi, I have my smartphone that I can use as a hotspot. Some other equipment that I have two larger monitors that I keep on either side of me. It just helps me, again, be able to function because there's times when I need to have open maybe 5 applications at one time. So it helps me be able to place things differently and still be able to see it. My laptop, of course, stays at the center, so that becomes like my main console, and I can kind of function that way. Again, these are things that are all important for your home office, depending on your business. You need to make sure that it is functional for you and your industry. Recapping again, you want to make sure that if you are dealing with people's data, any personal information that you have in your home office or in your office location, a place where it is secure, meaning that there's a lock and key and or limited access that no one has access to but the pertinent employees for that area. You want to make sure that, again, you are keeping personal information as safe as possible. Fraud happens, it's unfortunate, but you don't want to be the reason why someone's information was stolen. Shredders are very important. Don't just throw away office documents or documents with personal information on it, yours included. People, again, have been known to ram as trash cans. Of course, people do a lot of the cyber attacks. Fraud is just everywhere. It's unfortunate. But you want to make sure that, again, you are protecting a person's information. So with the desk, you want to make sure that the desk is functional for you. The desk is large enough to be able to accompany all your equipment, whether it's a laptop and monitors, whether it's your printers and scanner and fax, whether it's just your smartphone that you have sitting there, again, post-COVID, or, being able to work from home has become life-changing for a lot of people. A lot of people were in the corporate arena where they actually had to go into an office and then maybe had to come home and work. A lot of companies now are getting away from the hybrid or remote working schedules. But again, it depends on your industry. Being an entrepreneur, you need to have a home office set up no matter what industry you're in, because anything can happen where you may have to work from home. So that's what tonight's show has been about. Again, I hope you have enjoyed it. This is RenaeThaDiva. This is Let's Talk About It. Next week, I will actually go over the SWOT analysis. So we're talking to entrepreneurs, getting your businesses started, how you function in your business, and we'll go over the SWOT analysis next week. If you don't know what the SWOT analysis is, make sure you tune in. You can go to code 1035, code 1035.com to rebroadcast of this show, but you can check out the entire lineup. And there are some dynamic shows, some fire shows with the Eyes Media. And we are all about the forward-thinking entrepreneur. So I hope you have enjoyed. This is your girl, RenaeThaDiva. This is Let's Talk About It. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.